Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art created by the African people who were enslaved in Brazil 400 years ago. As slaves were not allowed to practice a martial art, they introduced music and drums to their training to pretend that was a dance. Even after this adjustment, the female slaves were still not allowed to play capoeira by their own peers. In the last 40 years, women have gradually made their mark within the capoeira community.
Capoeira for me is a way of life. Basically, capoeira came from Angola, Africa to Brazil during slavery, and capoeira was a way of the slaves, what the slaves had to fight against, injustice. So capoeira even today is a way to liberate people. So the way I see capoeira is the way of living. When you do capoeira, you can apply everything that you do in capoeira into your own life. Then that we are all different, and we can all really learn from different cultures, from different beliefs, and I really believe that capoeira is open enough to really allow people to be who they are, and that's what we're trying to do. You don't want it to be anything else besides your own self.
Women and capoeira, how do you feel about that?
We love it. No, when I started capoeira, at least here in this group, there were far less women. I do remember that. So even just 10 years ago, I came to class and I remember some of the people saying, "You've got to stay, you've got to stay, we need a woman." There weren't that many, and everybody has a challenge. It's capoeira, it's music, it's dance, and then at a certain time it's like becoming a leader and running a business, and it goes on and on. Sometimes I would travel to Brazil and be questioned of my capoeira experience here, so it was always an equal exchange, and I'd say overall it was a very long journey.
It's great to see when women can play men as aggressively. Like, I kind of feel like it makes me glad. It feels like a kind of empowering or something to see that women can, they play men differently. It's not like just brute strength, but you can counter playing a huge guy with intelligence and grace. It's not competition with other people. It's pushing yourself to do better and learning the music and getting stronger to be able to do the movements.
First I started capoeira in Japan. I'm thinking capoeira is sort of communication tool. I make friends through capoeira, and then I even find myself and find my style in capoeira. It's really important in my life. Actually, there are many women capoeiristas in Japan. Actually, once my teacher told me capoeira is for everyone. Women, men, and kids, and older people. I like that about capoeira.
Well, capoeira is not something that you can really do alone. It's something that requires a group of people, be it your school or the entire community. And once you learn how things are done at home, just like in life, you go out and visit other people. So the community is an extremely important aspect of the art. So you have to constantly have an open mind. And that can be, if you get stuck on just one concept or one way of doing things, then you will stagnate. But if you keep an open mind, then things will flow. I see that kind of competition within capoeira is kind of a newer thing. It's definitely an aspect of what people do in capoeira contemporarily, but it's not the major aspect of it, and it's really something that only specific people or specific groups decide to participate in. But as far as graduation ceremonies, workshops, and just exchanges of information, those happen all over the world. And I've been to Japan, Guam, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia, Brazil.
They seem to be organized generally by groups that are kind of like an extended family. Not to say that there's not ever any kind of drama at these events. You know, sometimes there's competition between schools. You know, like schools may have different philosophies. I mean, there's definitely politics that are involved, and so, you know, if you travel outside of your, like what I was calling an extended family, and you go to other capoeira schools where your mestres aren't as connected or whatever, you know, then anything can happen. I mean, I think most of the time it's very positive what you go there with. You know, most of the time, you know, you go slow and go introduce yourself. And I mean, it's just like walking into any other situation. Anything can happen is just my point. That's one of the rules. There really aren't any rules. There's ethics, and they change from school to school and place to place, so.
And what do you mean when you say anything can happen? From fights, from kisses at the end?
Kisses, fights. I feel most safe when I'm in my school with my family and where I know people. I mean, to be perfectly honest, but I mean, I do like to know that somebody has my back because things happen. So.
All right, Capoeira Batuta. Stop.
O berimbau, quando é tocado com jeito, estremece toda a roda, bate o fundo do meu peito. O gunga mestre, belo canto e poesia, e meu corpo se arrepia quando começo a tocar. A capoeira, que é luta de liberdade, que nos traz felicidade, como essa forma de expressar. Ginga menino, mostra pra gente a magia, essa luta contadinha e não faz querer jogar. A capoeira, o berimbau, tá na alma, tá no sangue, hoje é esporte mundial. A capoeira, o berimbau, temos um passado sofrido e um presente genial.